situation in Gaza is a very tragic one. It's a situation that the whole world views with much concern and deep anger. It's not just Gaza. It is the entire Palestine, the whole of Palestine. What is going on there and what the people of that region and the Palestinian people generally have been subjected to is totally and completely unacceptable. And it's not just 11 months of genocide. It's well over 75 years of genocide, pillaging, occupation, terror, and evil visited upon them by the Zionist state of Israel. What has happened in the last 11 months, though, is that it has been brought to bear before the entire world. People have finally seen what the Zionist state stands for and what they're capable of doing. As thousands of Palestinian children are slaughtered, women are butchered, and men are killed by all kinds of state-of-the-art weapons. They are butchered with no response, no vigorous response from the so-called civilized world. This is barbarity of the highest order. It is evil, it is wickedness. And I'm glad about one thing, and that is this, that the world has finally come alive to the insensitivity and bestiality of this perverse Zionist state, which claims to be a nation of Jews, but is in fact a nation of plunderers, pillagers, pedophiles, and vicious megalomaniacs, led by a man that I consider to be absolutely evil, Bibi Netanyahu, who has no intention whatsoever, I assure you, of stopping the carnage and the genocide. Rather, he wants to perpetuate it. He wants to continue the occupation. He wants to continue to kill people. He wants to have a greater Israel. He and his Minister of National Security, his Minister for Finance, all of them, we know them. The whole world knows these names, notorious names, which I will now compare to men like Adolf Hitler in the past. That is what has happened. But the good news is that because of the resilience of the Palestinian people, not just in Gaza, but also in the West Bank, resilient and strong, stood proudly against this tyranny over 75 years and over 11 months of barbarity. Because of that resilience and strength, because they have honor and dignity, they refuse to bow. And they have said, no way. We shall stand as the Palestinian people and we shall not be suppressed. We shall not be wiped off the face of the earth. And I'm very proud of that. So that is how I feel about it, and I speak for millions, not just in Nigeria, but all over Africa. Look, there are two ways of looking at this. I can assure you, and I can tell you right now, that if, for example, my people in Nigeria were subjected to the sort of occupation and the sort of tyranny and barbarity that the Palestinians are being subjected to by Israel today, we would have had an unending war. We would have had an unending war. Very few people would have been talking about international resolutions. We would have fought them into the sea and to the end, because it's human nature to do that. And that's one way of resolving this issue, through armed conflict. And you say, well, the other side has all the arms and all the weapons. Yes, but God is still alive. God still exists. I am a Christian, and I know that God exists. And there are many Muslims that know that God exists. So they may have all the arms in the world. It's only a question of time. It's just a question of time. So there's that aspect of it. People say, oh, you talk about armed struggle. It's just one option when all other options fail. I believe in a peaceful resolution of the crisis, for example. I believe that there should be a two-state solution. As a lawyer, that's a civilized and right way to go. Let the Palestinian people have their own country, sovereign state, and let Israel have its own. But the government of Israel, the people of Israel, 80% of them have rejected that. So what's left? The only thing left, in my view, is to have a situation where the country comes together, both Palestine and Israel come together as one nation, and it is a free country where Palestinians have equal rights and where Israel is now pushed aside and the Jews are a minority within that country. And to get that, you have to fight for it. Now, I'm not advocating armed struggle. I'm just saying it's an option. And when people say, oh, but Hamas is such an evil organization, fine if that is your view. But listen, if your people were being subjected to what the Palestinians were being subjected to, would you be a member of Hamas or not? Would you be a member of Hamas? That's a question that needs to be put to most of our Western brothers. Would you, during the time of the apartheid struggle in South Africa, not have been a member of the ANC? Was ANC not regarded as a terrorist organization at the time? Was Nat Turner, the great slave who fought against slavery in the 18th century in America and got up and started killing white people because he said black people have the right to exist as human beings, was he not regarded as a terrorist? He fought against tyranny. And he paid the price for it, but he made the point, and he began the struggle. During the time of slavery in America again, during the John Brown, a great white warrior, got up and said, I will fight slavery. He took his sons and his men, and he went to liberate black slaves. They fought against tyranny. Eventually they won. Point I'm making is this: it doesn't matter what course you take. It doesn't matter what you think. The reality is the only thing that matters is that at the end of the day, evil cannot prevail over good. Light cannot be overshadowed by darkness. Surely light will prevail. And eventually Palestine will be free, because it's a cause for the whole of the world, not just a cause for the Palestinian people alone. We're all involved now. I cannot be intimidated by anybody. No man born of woman can intimidate me. My people cannot be intimidated, and I cannot be intimidated. Speaking truth to power is something that we were born to do, and we will continue to do it. Speaking up for those that have been oppressed is a joy and a privilege and an honor. I am not inciting anybody. I'm simply telling the truth. And if the truth hurts so badly, I say do your worst. I have no fear of death, no fear of anything. I am a believer. If you kill me or you kill mine, it says we die in Christ. We know where we're going. We just change address. If you kill a good Muslim, he knows where he's going. We know where we're going. If you kill a good Muslim, we know where we're going. Why fear death? The fight is here on earth. The fight for justice, the fight for the oppressed. And many have gone before us. I can list them for various causes. When it came to fighting all these things, 50 million people died fighting Nazism. Millions more died fighting communism. Millions died fighting slavery. Millions died fighting imperialism. Millions died fighting colonialism. Why would it not be a privilege to die fighting against Zionism? And yet we will not die, because the Lord has died for us and paid the price. We shall have victory. We shall live long, we shall prosper, and Israel cannot kill the whole world. They can only inflict injustice for some time. Eventually, they will be overwhelmed. Eventually, they will be defeated. Eventually, we'll have victory. We have no fear.